Welcome everyone to our podcast episode. Don't know. Today's host is me. What the fuck? What? Oh no. Okay, they're fucking trolls, bro. I thought they actually froze for a second. I was quite confused. I was like, shit. We just started and we've already had internet issues. Alright. Anyway, everyone. Nice to meet you. Before we begin, I'm gonna let Blowfish and Seven Thugs. I want to say hi or something. You know what I mean? Blowfish.
What's up, everybody? Blowfish, man. You guys know who I am. Voice actor extraordinaire, Yakuza extraordinaire, zombie slaying dude. What's up? How you guys doing, Sid?
I'm kind of shy.
Are you? Is that why you should change your name to Shy Thugs?
Hey,
Shyly Thugs?
yeah.
I'm kind of shy. Please don't put me under pressure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm not good under pressure.
Sid doesn't like talking, so that's why he's on the podcast. Alright, so let's begin with this podcast. So today's good-looking host is me. Now, the first topic I've come to mind is like, not really cancel culture, but like what I call people who are like basically bitches. Now, what I mean by that is like sensitive people who like,
Jesus Christ.
like people are becoming more and more sensitive nowadays, right? Like they're basically weak as fuck in my opinion. You know what I mean? And like the question to ask all of you is like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Now, where do you stand with the fact that, like, why do you think, one, people are becoming more and more sensitive? And, like, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? You know what I mean? Like, where do you stand with this shit? Because I'm going to give my opinion, but I think mine's going to be a bit strong on this one. So,
Hey, man, go for it. Go for it.
But wait, I want to go against it. Are you Blowfish?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you first on this one.
Sure, yeah, no problem. So first half the question was, why do you think people are becoming more and more sensitive? Honestly speaking, it's because the meme answer would be like, yo, back in the day, you know, us, our parents, they were fucking built different, right?
True.
I think back in the day, you know, standards were like way lower for shit, so, you know, people would get less offended. You know, for a prime example, I love to bring up on stream, I don't know if you guys remember this movie. You might, this is the boomer thing to say, but like you, Hash and Sid, you guys might be too young to remember this movie series,
What
Austin
movie?
Powers.
Nah.
Austin Powers, do you guys...
I've heard it in
Yo,
a song,
yo,
Austin
are you-
Powers. by Kanye
what?
West.
Listen, so a prime example, I
It's
love...
like UK's like it's. Oh my
I've
god.
never
Okay,
heard
so
of
you
it,
do know
yeah.
Austin Powers, good. good.
Hash, you need to get deported back to wherever you're from, bro. Go back, man. There's no like when you fill out the citizenship
Yeah.
for the British passport,
Nah, come on, man. Austin
you have to
Powers is shit.
recite like
Yeah.
10 lines of Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Sid's
Like,
shit.
I was gonna say, like, a prime example I love to bring up is the Austin Powers movies. There's definitely some jokes that I look back towards. I'm like, holy shit, I found this hilarious as a kid. But if they were to like debut something like this today, the producers would get canceled, like everyone would get fucking canceled, all the actors in it would get canceled just because they were part of that movie, right? Back in the day, it was okay. It's like, haha, there's a fat guy who likes taking a shit, or like, oh, this guy does a funny accent, and they make fun of Japanese people and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I feel like it's just lower standards back in the day, right? Like, just, you know, people didn't give two shits about like, oh, what the concept of racism was and like sensitivity, et cetera, right? Like, do I think it's a good or a bad thing? I'll be honest. I'm gonna say I'm leaning more towards on the good side, but hear me out. Like, it's also, I can also give my reasons as to why I would say it's good. Well, for one, it's because like, you know, people nowadays want to become a lot more expressive. They want to be more like themselves, right? And you know, people tend to be those kind of people, or let those freak cards fly, as people would like to say, in the best way possible, right? And then, you know, back in the day, like, shit, I was a fucking anime dude and manga guy. I got made fun of for that shit. I'll be honest, right? So, you know, they want to stop feeling that sort of way. And then I think now that, you know, times are changing, they're sort of bringing light to that kind of shit. Now nerds are fucking cool. Like, where was this when I was a kid, right?
Yeah, true.
Like, you know, shit like that. So that's why I think it's a good thing, because I'm like, okay, I kind of sympathize with those people. But at the same time, I also, like, the 40% of me that think it's a bad thing is because I'm like, oh, okay, because I was raised in that sort of era where I'm like, okay, it's like racist jokes, you know, jokes about, you know, jokes going against women. Like, that was a thing. I know, right?
Racism?
That was a thing. Like, that was
Blowfish
like...
is a racist?
Damn.
Anyway, but like that kind of thing, like racist jokes, like all those kind of like terrible jokes towards like, you know, different sort of people, different sort of genders, different sort of, you know, sexual orientations. I was raised in that saying, I was like, it was okay to make fun of those people, but nowadays I'm like, it's also bad because I'm like, I've met a lot of people who, you know, identify in those sort of groups, and like they're the fucking most genuine, nicest people I've ever made. So, you know, like that's why I think it's a bad thing, because like, you know, those people who let those freak cards fly, they're like some of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like, I've definitely met a few on this platform who are just like that. And you know, like that's part of my community too. I like being inclusive, you know, like I don't like turning people away unless they give me a reason to do so, right? Like my whole philosophy is like, hey, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. I don't care how you identify, whether you're a helicopter, you're a gay person, you're a woman, you're a trans person. Like if you're a cool person, I don't care. If you're an asshole, then I'm gonna do something about it, right? Like then I'll be like, all right, get the fuck out of my stream, right? Or get the fuck out of my life. But yeah, what about you, Sid? Do you think it's a good or bad thing?
I think it's good.
Okay.
Generally
Why?
speaking, I think it's good. It's a good reason because the way that I perceive is, it's not people being sensitive; it's people being more aware of the surroundings and or
Fair
just
enough.
being aware of things in general. Like there was, like I can't lie to you. I used to use homophobic slurs. I used to say gay, the
Yeah.
F word, like in
That's
a like in a negative tone, just saying, oh yeah, something didn't happen. Why? Oh, that's bent. Oh, that's gay. Like it was a common thing. It was common
Gay
language. But
equated to like
now, like
stupid, yeah. I remember
yeah,
like even me, I
like.
caught myself doing that in high school. I'm like, oh okay, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it still happens, but people are a lot more aware of it. I mean,
Mhm.
uh there was a point where I used to use that and that was in my normal vocabulary,
Mhm.
right? uh no no way did I think about how it was going to affect people of those groups.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that. I just thought, oh yeah, they just have to kind of deal with it and stuff like that. And when I grew a little bit older, I kind of understood that these things can hurt someone. Like genuinely speaking, these things, these words and stuff like that, they can hurt someone. Which is why I refrain myself from using words such as that. There's
Mhm.
other things such as um, epilepsy, right? There's conditions as well.
True,
But
true.
there was a girl that had an epileptic fit in my school, in secondary school. There was a girl who had an epileptic fit, and what did everyone else do? Like
Laugh at
they
her.
went around the next day flashing lights and stuff like that at her, trying to trigger
That's
her, stuff like
fucked.
that. It's stuff
That's
like that,
actually
right?
really rude.
It's
That's
really
bad.
messed up. It's really messed up, right?
Yeah.
Because that was seen as a joke. But right now, what I feel like people are at is they're a lot more aware of things around them. They're a lot more aware and kind of understanding of what people are like, right?
Yeah, 100%.
There's people who have like Down syndrome and stuff like that, right? And then a lot of people use the R word. I haven't
Yeah.
used that word in like
Ages,
four
same.
plus years, right?
Yeah.
Like at least 4 plus years.
Mhm.
And that's because I have a little nephew, my cousin sister who's super close to me. He has autism, and I was like,
Mhm.
what if when he grows up and stuff like that, he hears those words and it hurts him?
Yeah.
And that's when it really clicked onto me, where I was like, okay, I need to be super aware of it. I'm not sensitive about it. Like understandably, like people make jokes about their situation they're in. I'm Asian. Like I'll make jokes calling myself a chink, say, right? I'll call myself a chink. I'll call myself saying, "Oh, my parents beat me when I was younger" and stuff like that. Like I'll make fun of
Oh
like
yeah.
myself, right? That's
Exactly.
But would
understandable.
you be offended
But
if someone
it
made?
gets
Would you be offended if someone made those jokes towards you? Like someone who.
I mean,
So like, you know how you said you call yourself a chink, right?
Those words. Yeah,
You
yeah.
call yourself that.
mhm,
Now, as Asians are more accepted to say it, especially Eastern Asians, because that's where the slur came from, right? In
mhm,
general,
mhm,
it's stereotyped towards that part of the world. So what if
Mhm.
someone who isn't like that, or is white or black, and
see,
they say it to you, like where do you stand with that?
here's the thing. Me personally, I don't really get offended, but
Yeah.
I just say, yo, like I'm just aware of what's around me. So if my friends do say it with me, I don't really like. I mean, I'm friends with mainly Asian people, anyways. But if like my like if my white friends or my black friends say it, but they say it in a jokey term where I'm comfortable with them and they don't actually mean it in a negative tone,
Yeah.
then I would let it slide. I can't lie to you. I would let it slide. But they're also understanding of what the situation was when COVID-19 happened. The amount of trouble and the amount of hatred towards Asian people, they understand that.
Mhm.
So they generally tend not to make those jokes because they know what's come with it. It's like me making fun of like black people and slavery and stuff like that. That's really messed up.
That's fucked.
I
Yeah.
don't do that kind of stuff, right? Is that me being more sensitive? I don't think so. I think that's just me
It's you
being
being
more
more aware.
educated.
Yeah.
It's me being more aware and educated.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay,
Building on your point, Sid, I was gonna say, like, when you're like, oh, if, my friends were to say that to me, I'd let it slide. I was like, everyone also just has different sort of lines and like limitations, right? Everyone's sort of different in that sense. Even me, like, if some of my friends, were to call me any of those racial slurs, they don't mean it. They know, right? And then I would do it back if, like, if it, they're okay with it. It's like, I'm not gonna say it unless it actually offends you, but everyone has different lines that they don't want to cross, and yeah. What about you, Hash?
No, like I get the whole point about like there's certain jokes you can't make. Like I think it's weird if you make a. I don't know. Like for example, one of my friends, Sujal, one of my closest friends, right? He's gay. Now with him, he roasts me for being Pakistani all the time. Makes all the racist jokes. I make jokes towards him. I make gay jokes with him all the time. Just only to him because he says to me he's cool with it. He finds it funny. You know what I mean? That's the sort of, we've accepted he can be racist towards me. I can go back at him. But yeah. I agree when you guys are like, the biggest pro of all of being more sensitive is it prevents a lot of like, homophobia, transphobia, fucking
racism,
even like, all these things, it prevents it. But I do believe people are fucking, they're pussies, man. Like seriously, so many people are like, they're so fucking weak to everything. I get it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's, especially like when you're on stream or doing something where people can see it, you get cancelled or you're deemed as a bad person for what I'm confident a lot of people do in their day-to-day lives, but they cancel people anyway. Everyone's a hypocrite anyway online, right? But like, for example, like they'll do shit.
But can I just argue with that though?
What? Yeah. I mean,
can I? You say people get cancelled all the time for what they do in the day-to-day life, right? You're normally talking about people that are a little bit more popular. They have a little bit of following, right?
True. That's a
yes or no. People who have influence. If you can stop one person, right? Say an ordinary person that walks around. Let's say he's got 2 or 3 good friends, right? 2 or 3 good friends that he can affect. That's 2 people he stops. Imagine someone who's considered a celebrity or someone who's got influence over multiple people. Say a streamer who has 100 viewers that gets cancelled. We're not talking about 1 or 2 people. You're setting an example for other people as well. That's why they get cancelled. That's why it's a big deal. If a normal, ordinary person that goes about day-to-day life says some racist, homophobic stuff, right? They're not going to have the same amount of people of influence, right? I'm not trying to say you don't stop them. Any chance you do, you stop them, right? But it's a larger risk if someone has a bigger influence. That's why they're getting cancelled for their day-to-day life and so. Because that's the people who can actually get spoiled out. You're saying, oh, just because people from their day-to-day life and on screen are different is because not everyone is going to be on screen. Yeah. Like, I could be the nicest guy in your chat and then just be super racist outside of chat.
Okay, so my question to you is, let's say, for example, Twitch or streaming in general, right? You see live people, like talking, right? Live people typing, sort of thing. Now, as for example, for myself, right? If someone says something homophobic, racist, I don't like it. You'll probably get banned, or I might be like, that shit don't work around here. Don't do that. But like, as a streamer, are you entitled? Like, are you obliged to call them out there and then? Because what if you argue saying, okay, look, for many people, right, and it fucking sucks, right, and we know this, make gay jokes all the time.
So many people,
yeah? Oh, that's gay.
Mm-hmm.
Or, why are you compliment? You know how many times I hear, why are you complimenting a dude, Hash? Like, I've heard that many times. I am not gay.
That's weird.
But people say to me, why are you complimenting? And I get why they're wrong.
Sure, you're not.
That's weird. People are just not secure enough in their masculinity.
Actually, like, that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, I remember back in high school, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that guy's a good-looking dude. So many. I went to an all-guys school. That's another thing, right? So many of the guys in my class were like, they fucking looked at me like, the fuck did you just say, Blowfish? I'm like,
but then, but my question is,
he's a good-looking guy. I still like girls at the end of the day.
No,
like,
I agree.
Right? Yeah,
I agree. I agree with everyone when you say like you're not secure if you can't say. I agree with that. Like, my argument's always been is I know I'm into females, I'm heterosexual, but what's wrong with me saying, yo, this fucking Ryan Gosling looks good? He does. But like,
he's a good looking dude.
But like,
actually,
what I'm trying to get to is, so if I see that, am I obliged to call them out on that? Because people troll, right? What I'm trying to say is like, for example, we know big streamers who physically can't call them out on stuff because their chats are too quick.
they have mods.
But I'm on about the streamers whose chats are just too quick. You can't even keep up with
Yeah.
it. Like, but is it the streamer's fault if they ignore it? Or is it the streamer's duty to call them out on it? Because the streamer could argue saying, yo, what's the fucking point? That's a troll behind a computer looking for a reaction.
Yeah.
Literally, you know what I mean? So, like, where do you stand with that? Like, should a streamer be like, or should a person online be like, yo, man, every time that's not cool? Or when do they stop? Like, XQC, everyone knows his chat is, like, racist, fucking sexist, everything. He gets 100,000 viewers every fucking time, you know what I mean? But he physically can't stop them. What would someone like him do?
I was gonna say, Hash. Sorry to cut you off, but like your point about like XQC having so many people, you know, who are just watching him, and yet his community is like very toxic and all that kind of nonsense, and you know, like I said before, like what I like to say about like guys like XQC and even Hash as well. I'm like, they take the reality TV approach towards stream, right? Here's the thing, like reality TV, people love watching stupid people. We don't know why. It's just a thing. And I think like, you know, like XQC is sort of applying that, you know, to stream, and it's working for him, and it's also clearly working for Hash in my opinion. So I think that's where it's going from. Like, I don't know, like there's always a thing that, you know, people love watching stupid people because I guess stupid people are more entertaining. They make good content. Why do you think, you know, Hollywood just like puts those people on the big screen and all that kind of nonsense, right?
No,
anyway, sorry.
I agree. No, I agree. But like,
I disagree, not gonna lie. But go ahead.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
wait, disagree with Blowfish or what I said?
Probably with me.
With
Right?
what you said.
Okay.
No.
Why? Tell me what. I'm actually curious. Like, what bit makes you disagree with it? Like, at what point? Okay, wait. Let me just. At what point should streamers stop because they physically can't keep up with it? Would you want them to do like a separate stream saying, "Yo, that shit doesn't vibe"?
There's no way you're gonna be able to stop every single one. But if it's a common theme in your streams, if it's a common thing that's happening all the time in your streams, you need to do something about it. You can't just say, "Oh, you can't do anything." What's your moderators for if that's the case?
True.
These guys, XQC, Tyler One, Ninja, whoever, they have moderators that get paid thousands and thousands and thousands a month to do what? If they're not stopping racist comments, homophobic comments, any slurs, anything that's messed up, what is the point of them?
No, that's true. Very
if you want a poll, I can pay my little cousin. My little 10-year-old cousin can set a poll saying, "Do you think I'll win this game? Yes or no?" Like, what is the point of the moderators? That's what they're there for. If you have someone of XQC's caliber, and I don't care what you say of their chats moving too quickly. I've seen Tyler One talk to 50,000 people whilst playing League of Legends, looking at the little jokes that people say here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there. And that's without any mods. That's him specifically reading the chat. This guy can play a very high intense level. And that's not me, even me trying to compare my favorite streamer to your favorite streamer, right? You guys already know I don't really like XQC, right? Because of what Has said. Homophobia is what? Homophobic slurs and stuff like that, like, prevalent on his chat. Isn't that what you said? Like, it's there.
I think like there's, well, I don't know. Every time I've watched him, I've never seen it, right? But I know that if you ask anyone, he's got a personality of just what happens. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, if something's happening on stream or if someone's typing something, it's not gonna impact me playing. But I think that is very unique to XQC. I think that's why people, the ones who like him, him. Like, I think that's what makes him him, sort of thing. That it's a very, you know, zero fucks given mentality. Like, know, I remember someone saying to me, right? I remember asking a question, and I was like, cancel culture exists, but they were like, the only way to cancel getting cancelled is to not care. Like, the people who don't care are apparently harder to cancel.
I agree to that.
Like, they are the ones who are harder to cancel. And I think...
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. My questions right now, I don't agree with any of the stuff I was saying myself, because I myself call out like, yo, I don't like this vibe. I don't vibe with it, for my own reasons, right? Because I believe it's wrong. And but I feel like sometimes people, like, for example, right? why I think people are a bit sensitive is some people get offended by any joke. I remember there was a TikTok I watched, right? I swear to God, and this dude made a really stupid joke about, you know, the stereotypes of a female about like cleaning and shit. And then like, I swear to God, I'm not even joking. There was like 7 duets. Is that what you call it on TikTok? Where they react to it basically with that same fucking video. Dude made a really dumb joke about cleaning. Evidently, he was joking. Like you could tell, but he literally even wore a wig to be funny. You know what I mean? And then there was like 100 people saying, these are the sort of issues that are wrong with society and all this shit. Like really serious reacts. That, to me, is, yeah, okay, he's wrong, but he's clearly fucking joking. You are such a sensitive human, man. Like, make humor out of something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he actually believes females have to only clean. I think it's his way of just taking the piss out of people that believe that. But then there are some people who are so sensitive to it. Granted, it's a small minority and shit like that. But, like, some people were so sensitive, they actually were like, yeah, like, this is wrong. This is the reason there is sexism. I don't think this is the reason there is sexism. And what do you guys think about that?
Like the joke that he made?
Yeah, like people reacting to it and shit.
Like how I feel about it is that just like you know, that's sort of like the gray area of content, right? Like yeah, I think what he's doing a satirical thing, but at the same time, like if you're gonna do something satirical like that, you got to be careful, right? Like because again, you know, people are becoming more aware, but in Hash's eyes, it's more just sensitivity increase, right? You know, I'm not one to, you know, joke about, you know, women being in the kitchen and all that kind of nonsense because I find that bullshit. It's like, because at the end of the day, you're human, doesn't matter the gender, male, female, you could do whatever the fuck you want,
of
right?
Course,
like,
of course,
right? Like, that's the thing. He's sort of in that gray area. I feel like, you know, if he were to joke about something as sensitive as that, it shouldn't have been a dude. It should have been a girl. You know what I mean? If it was a girl doing that, there's that double standard, right? It would be okay. They'd be like, oh, that's hilarious, right? If it was one of us who did that, we'd be getting in so much fucking trouble, right?
That's true.
Because then there's that whole view. It's just like, oh, he's a chauvinistic pig who believes that women should just stay in the kitchen and do this, take care of the kids. I'm like, oh no. Like that's not where this is coming at all from at all, right? To me, that's just like what he did was like he was trying to be satirical, but he did it wrong, right?
Okay.
So I sort of am on the side of just like, I mean, I get that you're trying to be funny, but that is a really sensitive topic that should be touched upon because there's a lot of people backing that kind of shit up, like anti sort of jokes like that, right? So yeah.
I got a question then for Sid and Blowfish, 2 of you right now.
Yeah, what's up?
3 of us are Asian here. There is a stereotyped accent for all of our like ethnic our countries, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like there is one, and you all know what it sounds like and shit. So, earlier Sid was like, yeah, I think I always agree. You should never make jokes about stuff like slavery for black people or slavery at all, to be honest. Like,
oh yeah, slavery's fucked up at the end of the day. Like,
but like, would you guys be cool with someone who isn't, for example, Filipino or Pakistani, or who is making evidently in a jokey way, like a joke out of the accent? Would you guys get offended by that? Because I personally wouldn't. Like, if someone made if they did a good job and I know they weren't really trying to be harmful, I personally wouldn't be offended. But I'm asking, would you guys be offended by that, or would you be like, yo, this is too much?
So let me double check your hash. So your question is if someone of the same ethnicity, so if I'm a Filipino dude, someone Filipino made a joke about the Filipino accent, would I be offended? Or
no, someone not Filipino. So for example, someone not Filipino made took the piss out of your a stereotypical Filipino accent. Sorry, what would you like? Would you be offended by that, or would you guys be like, yeah, no, I don't care?
To me, I personally wouldn't be offended, but I know a bunch of people who would be, right? I wouldn't be too offended because I'm like, okay, you know, he's making a joke out of it, but at the same time, you know, again, like I'm gonna bring up that point where like I don't think he's the right person to be making that kind of joke, right? Like it has to be like a Filipino person. Say if I were to, you know, pull the stuff that Hash does on with the GTRP where he, you know, puts on a Pakistani accent. If I were to do that with my voice acting stuff, I'm done, like canceled. I'm like, oh, you know, Blowfish Man is seen as a racist, Whereas with Hash, it's 100% okay for him, you know, to put on a Pakistani accent.
That's exactly why I do it, because I know that.
Yeah, right. Like, because that's the thing. Like, because I am on the side of just like, hey, like, you know, it's okay to own things. You know, like if you're a Filipino guy, yeah, make all the Filipino jokes, put on an accent, etc., because you grew up with that kind of stuff, right? Whereas, you know, like I ran into a lot of people who don't even know what a Filipino accent sounds like, right?
Okay,
And if those people were to make that joke, I'd be like, they'd probably assume a Filipino accent might sound like a Chinese accent. I'm like, that's probably what
I
they would
see what you
assume.
mean. Yeah.
But like at the same time, another thing is that context is everything too, right? Like say if that someone super uneducated was just like, oh, they don't know too much about the world, you don't know what sort of situation they're in, right? Say if they're like, oh, does the Filipino accent sounds like this, pulls out a Chinese accent, if I knew the person grew up with shit, I'd be like, oh, I'd be like, okay, she they genuinely don't know. So it's, I guess in a way it's my duty to be like, hey, like I'm not offended by this, but like people of the same culture that I do know of might get offended over that. So here's what it sounds like. Just be careful with that kind of stuff, right?
No,
but if it's someone who's clearly educated, who thinks they run shit, and then they pull out a Pakistani accent, a Nepali accent, a Filipino accent, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like you clearly know what you're doing. Like stop this, right?
Yeah, true.
Like again, I think what it comes down to for me, it's like context is everything, which is why I don't get easily offended, right? What about you, Sid?
You literally stole the words out of my mouth. Like context is everything for me.
It really is.
The reason, like, I couldn't care less if someone makes fun of my accent, right? I mean, like, people do that on a general basis as well. People make fun of how you pronounce. Like, one common thing is when I'm switching between languages, when I speak, switching between Nepali and English, sometimes my English words will come out in a like Nepali accent, and then we'll make fun of each other, right? That's completely fine. But if you're doing it in a way where it's negative, or when you're doing it in a way when you're taking the piss out of something, I will 100% take offense to that. And you could call me a pussy, whatever, and stuff like that. But my parents, my grandparents, my family members, the amount of times they've been taken the piss out of, not given the same opportunity because of their accent and such like that. Dude, why wouldn't I be? Why would I not be offended by that? If you're doing it in a way just to take the piss out of something, we're in a very like attacking manner, like this whole concept that we're like talking about, I have a very strong feeling about it, which is why I am kind of getting heated a little bit. Stuff like it's stuff like one thing, like some things I used to do before was like, when you're in like school and you're like, your friends who aren't from the same ethnic background as you are like, hey, how'd you say hi in Nepali or hi in Filipino? And you just go, oh yeah, this is how you say it, right? And then stuff like that. And then they go, oh yeah, can you teach me some swear words? Ha ha, shit like that. Like
God. It's how much I get that from my white friends.
I get that too, yeah.
Exactly, right? Exactly, because I always like before when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, it's whatever, blah, blah blah, stuff like that. But then now it's like, dude, like the amount of times where me and my parents have spoken Nepali and we've been told to speak English because this is the country you live in and stuff like that. But then, like, and you could say, oh, these people are trying to learn and be with Nepali culture or whatever. They only want to know the swear words. They don't want to know like actual learning and stuff like that.
They don't want to know the actual culture, the actual language, all that kind of stuff, right?
And the thing is, they don't go through the negatives of all of this at the same time as well, right? I'm not trying to say don't learn a different language. Like I'm not trying to say like don't do this, don't do that, and stuff like that. Like this is my opinion on myself, right? They don't get the negatives that come with speaking that language. Being told you don't belong in the country, being told you can't speak that language, being discriminated against and stuff like that. I mean, it goes back to what you said about that TikTok with the guy that made the cleaning jokes in the kitchen and stuff like that. Like, right? It's satire. I completely understand. It could be the funniest thing ever. It's still going to be fucked up.
It is like, again, you have to be careful what you want to satirize, I guess. I don't know if that's the word, but anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, but I'm saying the reason for that is, does he as a man ever know what women had to go through?
That's the other thing, right?
Do we as Asian people know the oppression that black people had to go through?
Yeah, exactly.
If we are not from the same group, I don't feel like we should be making jokes like that. I mean, you're saying, oh, me and my friend Suja, we make gay jokes and Pakistani jokes. And so realistically, that's because you two are friends and you two have given each other the opportunity to do that. Would you ever make gay jokes to a random gay person you've never met before?
No,
you would never do that.
I agree. Like, I don't
you would never do that. Tell me why, Hash.
No,
Why
I
would you
agree.
never do that to a random gay person that you didn't know?
No, of course. Like I agree. I agree with if I met someone who I don't know and and I know they are homosexual, bisexual, any sexual, right? Whatever like whatever they identify as. Yeah, of course. Because I've through my own education have understood the detriment and like for example, one of my like this is off topic or similar topic. One of my friends said to me, who's actually gay, and they said to me, I hate the whole gay pride festivals. He said that. He was like, I think it's really stupid. And but I disagreed. He was like, they're so stupid, why did they do it today? I was like, I think people need to remember that this celebration, like he was like, focused on the negatives as well. Like, oh, at these festivals, people fight and all this happens. I was like,
Fair
no, man,
enough.
that
Okay,
happens.
that's
that
fair.
happens
That
at
happens
every fucking football
It
match.
really does.
Every sport game. Like that's
every
got,
soccer match, every any sort of big festival.
yeah,
Right?
that's not even an
Right.
event like thing. That's just people are
Yeah.
dickheads. You know what I mean? Like whoever
100%.
does that, you're an arsehole. But like what I was like, I don't agree. I was like, look, man, these festivals happen. Yeah, okay. I no, actually no. I just no. I don't think they're ever too much. Like he was like, it's just too much. Why does it have to happen so many times? And why is and all this shit? But I was like, I don't know. Because if you go back 20, 30, to be honest, even today in some countries, man, you can't even openly walk around and say, hey, I'm gay. Hey, like, I don't even know. Some people
Facts. Actually, though.
literally,
holy
yeah.
shit.
Like some people still believe it's a fucking mental health thing. How the fuck you can? Oh, whatever, man. But people still believe that if you say you are gay, that you're mentally ill. Genuinely, they think you've got like something fucked in your brain that you need to be cured.
like-
You know what I mean? Because
Hash, it's funny because studying psych, I remember like at one point in my psych textbook, like they mentioned the psych, like back in the day, like mental illness or being gay, being homosexual was actually put under the list of like mental illnesses in like the second edition of like old psychology textbooks. I'm like, that's fucked up, man. I'm like, holy shit, if it got that far within like education back in the day, Jesus, right?
exactly,
That's how messed up it is.
So I think this should be celebrated until fucking whenever, until the last. Until every single, I don't even know, until every single gay person on the planet says we're not celebrate it. Until then, celebrate it. Because fucking, bruv, there was times, yeah, okay, sure, you can argue that in some countries it's a lot better now. Like, for example, was it recently, like a couple years ago, when all the states in America legalized gay marriage?
Yeah.
About 5
I
years
think
ago.
it was pretty.
from what I
That was
remember,
like
right?
pretty recent. Yeah, 5 years is recent
5 years
for that
ago?
kind of shit. Yeah.
That's great, don't get me wrong. But like, that doesn't mean there still isn't fucking homophobia.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, there's memes about going to Texas and you're gonna be like get homophobic shit. That's how common it is in some places. There's literally memes about it. So like, I disagreed with him. I was like, look, man, you need to remember, like, there was a lot of people, maybe not you, but a lot of people who were gay. And to be honest, people who aren't even gay who had to take these like slurs and offensive stuff, and some people even lost their lives over it. So I was like, until every single fucking gay person gets together and says, yo, we don't have to celebrate this anymore, you're going to celebrate it until, make it however extra, that's so subjective as well, you want it to be. It's the same as that fucking, you know, the National Women's Day. It's like March something. You know what I'm saying?
March something. Yeah.
I was
do
in the
remember
dates
that.
from March something, right? National Women's Day. So many men come out and say, why is there not a National Men's Day?
There is.
There is. That's the thing.
There actually is.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just not promoted as much.
I don't think there needs to be one. I don't. You know what? Maybe you guys disagree with me in that part. I don't think there should be.
No. I
do.
get why. I was like, you disagree with him? Or like, actually? I was like, I kind of, I'm on Hash's side for this one. I was like, I don't think
men's.
it's really
So
necessary.
basically, International Men's Day is about male suicide. It's not about the freedom of man. It's
Okay,
about
that's
Okay.
fair.
what
That
men
bit
are
I
what
agree
3
with.
times more likely to commit suicide than women. Like I feel like because you know how November is also Movember, right?
Yeah.
People grow out facial hair to donate money at the end of the month
Isn't
as
that
well
'cause
to
of
kind of
testicular cancer?
testicular cancer, right?
Yeah.
But it's also on the same month. It's like November 19th, I'm pretty sure, is International Men's Day.
Okay, fair, but that's okay. Yeah, I agree with the mental health thing, but most people take as Women's National Day as like, why don't we have the same, men power? But I'm like, but think
it's
about
bullshit.
it. There's still many fucking countries, actually every single country has people that believe that you know, as a female, you have to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the choice. Essentially, you're a baby maker. Stay at home, do what I want because I'm the man, sort of vibe, right? And until, you know, every fucking female comes together and says it doesn't have to be one, fucking have a National Women's Day and celebrate. Have more than one day. You know what I mean? Do what you want, because there was a big time. Men have never had a time of not having power. Yeah, you could argue like, yeah, some men suffer and shit, of course, but in general, from what I remember, men have always been considered the superior. You know what I mean? The stronger. Oof, we're so smart. All that shit. You know, I don't think they deserve one. I agree with the mental health stuff. That's something new that people are now understanding, that men can also have feelings. But like
they can also have feelings.
Yeah, like
that's one.
They can also, you know, feel shit. They're not actually stones.
Yeah, we're not robots, guys. We're not, you know, stone faced all the time.
Oh, sorry, I keep hitting my mic. But can I just say one thing to kind of argue a little bit? I'm just like throwing. I seem to be disagreeing with you guys a lot this podcast, but like I said, I do have my very adamant opinions and like very strong opinions. One common thing, I actually have had this conversation with a couple friends before, right? Before, like, it was a couple years ago with my friends who were gay, with a couple other friends as well, right? Just in general, just chat. One thing, like, say your friend could have said, "Oh, I wish people didn't have a gay pride day, because for one day, people that are in the LGBTQI plus committee get all the limelight. What about the rest of the 364 days? Gay people are praised and sort of get to be open, right, on that one day, and then for the rest of the 64 days, they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. That's a good
No
point.
one cares about. Yeah, like, it's and another thing is, when you're gay on that day, and when you're like in the march, in the pride or whatever it is, right, you have the spotlight on you and everything like that. So I thought LGBTQI plus people just wanted to be seen as normal human beings as well. Right? So I can see the argument that your friend could have, where they were like, why do we need a day for it when we're just normal human beings, just as like heterosexual males and females and whatever else? It's like kind of saying, have you ever had it when your parents say, like, when it's like Father's Day, and you go, oh, when's, like, you know, the Sunday, when's daughter day and stuff like that, and they go, every day is Sunday and daughter day, because every day you are my son.
Nah, man. You know why? Why I hate personally, right? You know when people say that, like, because you hear that all the time, like, why should there be a certain day? It should be every day of the year. I don't think that's personally how I interpret. I interpret as
that's fair.
I interpret that one day being not that, okay, this is their day today. Like, oh my god, now give them extra fucking chocolate or whatever, or flowers or whatever people give for gifts, or I don't know, all that shit. It's like, I take it as there was a big period, even now, that this community was looked down upon. So this day is a way of raising awareness, and it's just to celebrate. Look how far we've come. You know what I mean?
We really did come.
Like, look how far we've come. Like, if you go back, I'm not saying that it's easy now to be, you know, homosexual or to be a female, but I'm saying, go back 50 years, there's big progress. Go back 1,000 years, there's big progress. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
I agree with that.
Early 1900s, women couldn't even vote. Like, it's fucked up, and now they can. You know, like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. So, like, for people to, but I've always took it as, it's like the Valentine's shit. You know what I mean? Why do you have to get your other half something on Valentine's? It should be every day. No, fuck off. It's not that. It's just, that's a day given to where we're raising awareness that you should do this for your other half. Not saying you shouldn't. You know how it's stereotypical to buy them, I don't know, chocolates or some shit. I don't
Chocolates, flowers,
and teddy bear, whatever. That, oh, look, this is something you should be fucking doing. You know what I mean? This day is to remind you that you should be fucking doing this. You should be buying them your significant other stuff they like, or spending quality time with them. It's like a reminder sort of thing. That's how I've always interpreted it, to be honest. Like, any day, whether it be Gay Pride Day, National Women's Day, can't think of any on top of my head, but yeah. What do you think about that, Sid? Did I change your view?
You kind of lost me on the
smile.
Valentine's part. No.
Ah!
I feel like arguing with a day such as like International Women's Day and stuff like that, and Valentine's like.
Okay, yeah, sure. There are two different things.
Yeah.
Right, fair. In that sense, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I would put National Women's Day and Gay Pride Day together, and then Valentine's Day.
I do agree with what you said, saying like, oh, it's a celebration of how far they've come. What I wasn't trying to do earlier was like kind of completely disagree with you. I was just trying to put in a second thought, like for a reason why your friend might have said, I don't like that they're celebrating it this day and stuff like that. Like this just things that I've heard from other people.
No, 100%.
Like I mean, I have gay friends, I have black friends, I have other friends.
Yeah.
I just forgot I just forgot every
I'm
single
not racist,
freaking...
but my worker is black.
Yeah,
I'm not racist.
My colleague is fucking. My colleague's dog is
guys.
Asian.
Come on, I only say the N-word on like weekdays.
Jesus Christ.
Today's a week.
Okay, I don't...
Oh shit. Damn. Sid.
Yeah, but no. But like it's just a conversation I've had with people, right? And going to one thing like the Valentine's Day, I freaking hate Valentine's Day.
Same.
I freaking hate Valentine's. I mean, it's because I'm single, or mainly because I'm single right now. But I hate Valentine's Day because it's like, dude, like why save the one day to give all your presents and stuff to someone, man? It's just so stupid.
Let's do it monthly. Do it every fucking. I don't fucking know. Man.
I don't think I've ever celebrated it. I swear to God.
Really?
Although I was talking about, I've never celebrated it. Yeah, never done it.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never done it. I don't agree with it. I actually don't. I think it's stupid. But I was given more of my limelight on the gay pride and everything, and I just threw in Valentine's Day. But yeah, I actually don't. I personally, well, every day is Valentine's Day. That's the mindset I prefer to have on it. Personally.
I agree with that
think
too.
It works
I agree
more.
with that.
All right. So now that we've spoken about about being sensitive and all that shit, right? My next topic I want to ask you guys is like, was there any games or cartoons you guys remember from like, this is like childhood memory sort of vibe, and this goes to everyone in chat as well. Like, were there any games you grew up playing? Like, for example, for myself, I played Crash Bandicoot a lot and Rayman.
Yeah, I love Crash Bandicoot.
My first console was the PlayStation 2, whereas Blowfish's first console was the N64.
SNES.
There you go.
SNES. Even before that, bro.
No, none of us have even heard of that.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that's how I know. I'm like, this is how I know I'm old. Y'all don't know what the SNES is, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
So what I want to know, is like, what did you like? What games you play? And you don't say Pokemon. You gotta tell me which Pokemon. You gotta tell me which Tekken. You know what I mean? And
Pokemon
and cartoons. What did you watch? You know what I mean? I watched a lot of Ben 10. And what was your guys'
Ben 10's a good one. I like Ben 10.
I played Pokemon. I watched Pokemon.
I played Pokemon. I've watched Digimon. I've watched Dragon Ball.
I never watched Digimon.
Did you want to start
Pokemon Platinum?
My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Pearl.
Mine was Red, bro. Pokemon Red?
Mine was like, I think mine might have been Red. I had the Game Boy.
Awesome.
No, I
had a Game Boy,
DS.
Yeah.
I got a Game Boy to play Red and Green and Blue, but I never had a Game Boy. My first console was a PS2, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Mine was a Game Boy.
PS2 is a good one to start off on.
But is Game Boy a console? It's not, is it?
I don't know.
It is.
Console. I think so. Blowfish, because I'm 21, Blowfish, so I don't think Red was existing when I was born, Blowfish, personally.
You definitely know. Blue and Red, Ash doesn't know what that is.
Yeah. That was my first game as well, Red.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah. Simpsons, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a classic. That's a good one. That's a fucking good one.
Postman Pat. Mario Kart. You played Mario Kart. Who the fuck watched Postman Pat? That's old. But what about
Postman Pat?
Oh god.
I always saw like little bits of an episode when I was flicking through the channel. I never watched a full episode. It was one of those.
Smart for that shit. What about I watched a lot of SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob's a good one. I watched a lot of that too.
What?
Why?
Why? I just found him so annoying.
Fair enough. Okay,
so annoying.
Fair enough. Yeah, you found SpongeBob annoying. I get that now. And it's funny because right now, watching SpongeBob, I'm just like, as a kid, I fucking loved him and Patrick so much. They would go on adventures. Ha ha ha. And then as I grow older, I'm like, now I understand why Squidward fucking hates these two. I was like, Squidward. So I'm like, now I get it. Now I get it. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, okay.
SpongeBob is so cute. Patrick was so cute as SpongeBob.
Patrick's my favorite, yo. Patrick's
my favorite is
so
Mr.
annoying.
Krabs. Man knew his loyalties and like he was.
Yo, man, he was too loyal.
Why
to
you're
the
money hungry? Crazy.
Yeah, man's too money hungry.
He was to the point. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Cheap
but
to
how
the
did
point.
he have Pearl as a daughter though? Like
Yeah.
a crab just pops out a freaking whale.
I was actually gonna say, did they ever go into that? Like, Chad, did they ever go into what happened to Pearl's mom? Like, I never like. What's the mystery behind that? I'm like, who did Mr. Krabs smash to get that?
Did you know? I two theories about SpongeBob. These is like TikTok, so like I highly doubt they're real. But at the same time, these are so interesting because people spent so much. Like one was Pearl is the only whale.
What?
I'm pretty sure she's the only whale. No.
Oh wait.
Oh, in the show.
In the whole series.
Yeah.
In the show, right?
No, you're
so
right.
Mr.
I'm
Krabs
thinking about
probably
it. I'm like,
did something about the whale community. And another thing is Mr. Krabs is the only crab, and also the Krusty Krab looks like a crab lobster cage, I think.
Oh, it does.
But-
Yeah,
it
you're
does,
right.
yeah.
Right? And he's the only crab because he killed all them goddamn crabs and put it in the Krabby Patty. That's the streaky formula for the patty.
Jeez, imagine.
That was the two theories, and I was like, oh my god, that's actually so crazy. But wait, guys, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Shit is show.
Yo, that shit's terrifying, but it's so good.
If you
I like
enjoy
Courage
That's the
Courage
show I
Cowardly
was.
show,
That's the show
That's
I
a
was
good
telling
one.
you
That's
guys
a good
about.
one.
Every time I mentioned it here, no one knew it, and I was like, "Bro,
Bro,
I'm
Courage
not
the Cowardly
imagining."
Dog was lit. I mainly
It was
liked
so
him because
good.
he had a fucking hole in his tooth, and I found that hilarious as a kid.
Oh
but
my
like,
god,
looking back at the shit that went down, it's
it
terrifying.
was
It's so fucking
creepy,
terrible. It's like
dude.
nightmare fuel. You know what I mean? Like, actually.
Oh my god, like it's some of the episodes have literally left a scar.
It
like,
was
in your
such a
memory,
shit
like, you
show,
sh-
man.
Yeah.
You know how
Bro,
you
it
know
was
it was
so
a shit
good.
show?
It
It
was
should
so
only
good.
come on Cartoon Network like around midnight. That's how you know it was a weak
Because
show.
it was a scary cartoon.
Nah, come on, man. Don't get... It's
Are you
'cause
trying
it
to
was-
tell me horror movies go at like 1 p.m.? Like who goes when you go to watch a horror movie? Do you go at like like when it's broad daylight? No, you want to
Yeah.
go when it's like darker, when you're gonna get scared
I
in the
used to think
cinema.
Friday nights on my streams are fucking horror games. I love feeling that shit, you know what I mean? Because it's like dark, you know what I mean?
Oh, I did play Spyro, the Purple Dragon.
Spyro's a good one. Spyro's a
Spyro
good one.
was
I
a
never
good
played
Did you guys
game.
play
it.
Team Fortress 2?
No,
Nah.
but I've seen a lot of memes about it.
Oh my god, TF2 is like, I swear TF2 was the like birth
guys,
of like
I was gonna
memes
say-
from games.
You guys are gonna be crazy. I had a fucking crazy childhood. My very first game I've ever played that comes to memory for me would probably be the Mortal Kombat series, the OG 1s to 2 to 3. And my friends would be like, "You had a fucked up childhood. Mortal Kombat was your childhood." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's
I
the
fucking loved
finish
cutting people's
shit.
heads off and like destroying people, right? And they're like,
Mhm.
"That explains your violent tendencies, man." I'm like, "Yo, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
stop."
that's
Don't remind me,
I've
right?
only ever owned one Mortal Kombat game, and that's because it came for free.
Which one?
I don't know.
curious.
It was shit. Like it was just too slow. I couldn't do it. And like
I'm
I
like,
prefer
it depends.
Tekken.
Like, there's definitely some shit Mortal Kombat games out there. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of the series. Like, I'm like, oh, if you mention like 4 to 6, which I was not a big fan of, I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, fair enough.
all right, so last week, right? Sid introduced this thing called "Am I the Asshole?" And I fucking loved it. I thought it was genius. I swear, that's the only time Sid's ever said anything, and I've put respect.
Can we change the
That's so crazy.
Can we change the title to "Am I the Hash Chap"?
Why the hashtag crazy? You guys miss Rugrats? I feel like
Ooh,
Rugrats was so
Rugrats.
American. Like I feel
never
like
Rugrats
watched
is
American
I
Canadian.
watched Rugrats. Yeah,
I've never
Rugrats was
seen-
great.
Yeah,
I've
he's
never
like
seen it.
American Canadian, right? You're from
Yeah.
Canada. Like I
True.
feel like it was more American Canadian than anything. I feel like if you're talking about England, like it's more like Balamory. Like what's the story in Balamory?
wouldn't you like to
I have no
know?
idea what that is.
Exactly. That's the Rugrats for us. I feel like, but it's like
okay.
Nah, Rugrats I never even heard of. But yeah. So we're gonna do this "Am I the Asshole" sort of segment, right? But this time it's me who's gonna ask them, and I think I have some pretty fucking good ones. There's two I'm
Okay.
so
All
proud
right.
of.
All right. Like, I gotta hear
There's
this.
two I'm so proud of. I'm gonna give the first one. This one's a lighter one. The second one is a good one though.
All right.
Because this one I'm actually interested in everyone's opinion. So the
Okay.
first one is,
Okay.
"Am I the asshole?" This is the title for demolishing a kid's treehouse that was partially on my
Okay.
property, right? So she says,
Okay.
"I'll keep it short. I have like 7 acres and much of it is woods. The neighbor decided to build a large playhouse for the kids, but it was on the property line and half of it was on my property. I met with them and showed them that it was on my property. I said they could pay me and I'd sell them the land for market value. They refused. So I had the half of the playhouse on my property bulldozed. They are currently trying to sue me for damages. I'm not rich, but I have a lawyer. Then you're rich. Like, if you have a fucking lawyer, you're rich, right?
I was about to say, I'm like, what?
Yeah, and a fucking bulldozer. If you're bringing out money for that shit, you're
That's
rich.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's a lot of fucking money too.
You.
Yeah.
Already, okay, whatever. So I won't give my opinion. I don't want to bias yet. So, but okay, I'm not rich, but I have a lawyer. And after I served them, they called me a heartless bully. Honestly, I think I'm 100% in the right, but several family members have called me, and I quote, a monster. Am I the arsehole for demolishing the kids' playhouse?
Ooh.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
There's a
actually thinking about this.
There's a famous quote, right? From your favorite basketball player,
Mine?
Michael Jordan,
Oh,
right?
man, that's great.
He goes, fuck them kids. Yeah, so first and foremost, fuck them kids. Right, because dude, it was on his property. He offered to sell his property for market value, right, to the family. If the families really cared about it, right, they would have bought the freaking property, or they would have just put it on their side. Like, what?
Alright, Blowfish.
You know what? I'm gonna go with no as well, because I'm like, it's tough, but at the same time, like, the reason why I was sort of a little bit conflicted is like, well, to be honest, these are kids. They don't know any better, right? But at the same time, it's also the responsibility, as Sid pointed out, of the parent. Hold on, of the parent
It's the
to be
parent.
like, yeah,
The
at
kid's
this point,
not building it.
yeah, right. Like, and like I thought about that. I was like, oh shit, yeah, the parents did build it. You know, they're responsible for their kids as well, right? The dude gave him a chance. You know, okay, you want this part of land? Okay, cough up the money, right? He gave him a chance. I'm like, I probably would have done the same thing. And you know, they said no. So he's just like, all right, fuck this shit, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna side with like the no part because I'm like, yo, you want to use my stuff? Like, you like, for one, ask. Two, I'm like, if you really want to like claim that part of your land, we'll work something out. And if you don't want to pay for it, then fuck you. So you know, I'm gonna have to go with the no.
Like,
he's not an asshole.
We need context. We need context, by the way. Is this in America?
Oh, true.
Let me double check that.
Does it say if it's in America? Because, you know, America's kind of notorious for taking someone else's land and just building civilization over it.
What
a kicking out the people.
Colonization.
Yeah, you know, it's not like, you know the Native Americans or indigenous people just got their place robbed.
I don't know if it's in America, but I don't know. You guys are a bit heartless, man. Look, in my mind, I get it, right? The parents are dickheads. I would be petty and do something back to piss those parents off. Like, I would build something with that much money. I would build something that takes the remainder of their fucking land. You know what I mean? Their garden. But I wouldn't fuck up the playhouse because that's the kids. They don't know. You know what I mean? Those kids don't know what the fuck land is or what the fuck property is and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck them kids.
Okay.
But it's the parents.
Fuck the parents, man. Be annoying to them. Like,
It's the parents.
make their life horrible. If you got that much money, be a dickhead and build like a really
I think that's
big tower.
worse.
No, I'd be
That's
petty back.
literally worse.
I'd be petty back and build something on their side. But I wouldn't take that.
That's
Because they technically made me suffer, right? By putting their shit. You have 7 acres of land, for fuck's sake, man. How much?
That's a lot of acres.
How much
actually.
can they
7
fucking
acres
take? Like a meter or two? Like, relax yourself. You know what I mean? How big can a playhouse be? You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking.
What if it was like a gigantic one? Hash? You're like, oh.
trespassing?
See the kids, yeah.
I mean,
It's actually pretty good, Mo. I don't know, man. It's
fuck them kids.
I understand where you're coming from, but fuck them kids. Like,
No, you guys are
it's
devils in
you're
the
calling me
making.
heartless, but guess what? You're calling me heartless, but if you're literally gonna feed your kids with a silver spoon, what are they gonna expect for the rest of their life? They're just gonna get handed a job. They're just gonna get handed $1 million. Like, you know.
Yeah, but like, what lesson is the kid
They
gonna
need to
learn?
learn.
My dad and mum are stupid. Like,
Yeah.
that's- what they learn.
No. They need to learn
My
that they can't
parents
always
stupid.
have everything. Okay. Did
Fair
your
enough.
parents always buy you that toy when you're younger?
No.
Oh, man, but look, okay, look.
Hell
okay.
fucking no,
Sid, bro,
no.
okay, what if this playhouse was literally made because they were golden for like 20 fucking their life, right? And the promise was birthday present. I don't know, but like, if that was the reason, they've earned it in their eyes. As a kid, you don't know anything else. You just know I've earned this playhouse, right? Like they've earned this playhouse, and then if a kid sees a playhouse get broken, they're not going to understand. Oh, this is because it was on their property. They're just going to think half of it got bulldozed and be confused, maybe traumatized.
Probably traumatized.
I just want to say, what kind of kid in 2021 wants a freaking treehouse, dude?
That's
All the
true.
kids want to do now is just watch their iPad
on their
and
phone,
watch
go on
like,
fucking
Coco
TikToks,
Melon and like
you know,
go
watch
on TikToks and
TikToks,
everything.
watch Twitch. You know that
What a
kind of
nerd!
know.
What kid in 2021 wants to go outside?
Oh, this guy wants to go outside. What a fucking loser, you know?
Twitch.tv/7thugs and just go watch his
Yeah,
stream.
go twitch.tv/blowfishman on TV, you know, like that kind of shit.
Yeah, waste your time on those irrelevant streamers, but you know where to really go, huh? Twitch.tv.
Also, if the kid gets injured on their land, they could get sued.
That's another thing.
That's what I'm saying. 7 acres, man. Oh, relax yourself.
No. That's literally no. If the kid gets injured on their land, as in like if the kid is on the part of the treehouse that's in your land, you can get sued by their parents.
Oh, really? I don't know
Because
that.
it's on your property.
Yeah, but what if you like don't enter my property and they ignored it? I don't think legally there'd be any action taken because they've said I told them not to come on there. They forced themselves and trespassed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you know that's true though?
I don't. I'm thinking so.
It's still on your property. No, end of the day, it's still on your property.
It really is on your property at the end of the day.
It's like saying like a dog shit on my like back garden. Like it's can you pick up your dog shit, please? Like your kids just hurt his femur in the part of my treehouse.
Okay, so
Am I allowed to go up into the treehouse and play with the kid?
so
Wait a second.
Is Blowfish and 7 Thugs are basically the devil in disguise, and I'm the cool one, nice one here. Anyway, now this is the juicy one. This is the juicy one. Okay, I'm really curious what your opinion on this one is. Right. So the title is, "Am I the asshole for not inviting this autistic girl to my birthday?" Now let me give you context of the story. Right. I'm 15, female, and just turned so this past weekend. Oh, just turned so this past weekend, so like a week ago. Fuck that. I decided to keep it sort of small since my parents are a little weird about COVID, so I just invited the girls in my drama club.
Okay.
Yeah. I know most of them already, but there were a couple of them I didn't invite, so I invited them anyway to get to know them. Yeah? So she basically ended up inviting every girl in her drama club. There's this girl in the drama club called Ursula.
Ursula?
Why the fuck would you name your daughter like a villain name?
Maybe Ursula it's a fake name.
Yeah, but isn't Ursula the name of the villain in Mermaid or something?
Yeah, it is. Little Mermaid, yeah.
Why would you call it? Anyway, whatever. So Ursula, she's autistic. She's not like non-verbal or anything, but she's really weird. She's still in Monster High, and we're literally in high school.
Thank you so much.
What's Monster High? But that's what they wrote. And she has an aid, so probably isn't functional.
Monster.
I have literally seen Ursula drool. I didn't invite her because I don't really want to play dolls on my birthday. I wanted to just hang out and enjoy snacks and a movie. Besides, since Ursula has an aide, I also didn't want her parents coming to the party since the aide wouldn't be there. Right? That was last Saturday. On Monday, a couple of my friends thanked me for having them again and said the party was cool, which it was, but after drama club, Ursula's aide wanted to talk to me. Basically said it was really mean of me to invite everyone but her, and that it was just because of the autism. Then that isn't really true. If she was just really immature for other reasons, I would probably also not have invited her. And on Tuesday, I guess she reported me because I got sent to go talk to the principal, and she told me how I have to be inclusive. I really don't see how me not inviting someone I didn't want there is not being inclusive. But yesterday my mum got a message from Ursula's mum online, and maybe I did do something bad because there's still fallout from this. I got inclusion. I get inclusion, but I don't really want to ruin my party to do it. Am I the asshole?
That's tough. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually tough. So, that's tough.
Why does everyone lie with that?
That's a good one.
You know what? Let me give my. I'm gonna give my.
You first.
She's not an asshole. Let me explain why she's not an asshole. Because a big, like, stigma about someone who's autistic or something that isn't considered normal, quotation marks, is that people, they are treated differently. You with me, right? As if they're not the same as as me, as Sid, as Blowfish, because if you're autistic, you're not the same as us. But she didn't segregate her because she's autistic. She genuinely didn't like her, as if you wouldn't invite a normal person. She treated her as she's treating everyone. She treated Ursula as, yo, look, I don't like you. Like, she made a very fair point about, I don't want to play dolls at my party. I don't think that's her being mean. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a way of saying, like, hey, like, I know you're like this, I just don't like this. The same way I could do it with someone else. Like, if I do something for my birthday, I wouldn't invite Seven Thugs because I just don't like him. You know what I mean? But that's just because I don't like him.
That actually happened?
Yeah, but like, then why is it mean if Seven Thugs was autistic? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't, be like empathetic and stuff or be nice and like try and understand. Yes, educate yourself. But she's not saying she's not understanding or not educated in the matter. She's just saying, I don't like her. And like, I agree with Sid in chat when he says just because she was autistic doesn't mean she has to be included in everything.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, so I was leaning more towards the side of no, right? Because from what it sounds like, she's not inviting her because, oh, she's autistic. No, she just doesn't like her. Again, context is everything, right? People are gonna assume it's like, oh, you're rude for not inviting this autistic person just because she's autistic. And I'm like, no, I just don't like her, right? Context is everything, right? Like, Tash, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, I just think she genuinely doesn't like her. I do the same shit too. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't like this person. You're not getting invited. You're not my friend. Sorry, not sorry, right? But like, again, bringing up the whole like, what Sid said earlier when he was like, I think the world's becoming more and more aware of things, right? This is where it sort of backfires because then people are going to start assuming, oh, she's an asshole because she didn't invite her to her birthday, because she's autistic, because she has a disability. And that's not really the case. There's always two sides to a story, right? What about you, Sid?
I don't.
It's hard.
I don't know.
It's a tough one.
It's
like,
very difficult. Yeah. Like, the only concern I have is she's the only one in the entire drama class that didn't get invited.
That's another thing,
literally,
right?
Regardless of if she really just didn't like her or anything like that, right? It's literally one person from the entire drama class. So regardless of if it's just to not be inclusive because of who she is and stuff like that, it's still gonna be really peak, no? Like, even if she really didn't like say autism was taken out of context, right? She's a normal person. Everyone in the drama class gets invited but her. She's gonna feel like she's gonna get picked on regardless, no?
That's another thing that's a good point. I never thought about that, actually.
Like, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. And another thing she said is, I didn't want her parents to come because the aid wouldn't be there, right? I fully understand that. You're a 15-year-old girl. You want to just have a good time with your friends and stuff like that. You don't want the older parents. Yeah.
Getting involved in all that, yeah.
Yeah, like, I understand that. It's so wait, really weird.
Do you say she's the arsehole or not the arsehole?
I cannot, like, I genuinely cannot tell you if she is or not. I don't think she is.
I don't think she is. I'll be honest.
I'm siding towards I don't think she is, but
you just feel bad for Ursula, right?
It's just
I do too. It's fucked up, but what can you do?
Only one person that didn't invite.
I feel it's mean that no, like, in
it
anyone,
is
if one person left
out,
it is mean, but I think that's part of life.
Not everyone's gonna like you, right? That's the thing.
That's the lesson you gotta learn, man. That not everyone's gonna. I know, yeah.
But the thing is, with Ursula, she's
just like how
I don't think she's gonna like grasp that properly, right? That's
yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, she has a disability, so she's not gonna immediately understand off the bat. Oh, like, not everyone's gonna like me, but she's gonna understand, like, I got excluded. That's how she sees it. But that's not her fault because she's autistic, right? I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Really,
And the thing is, it like her not getting invited. It says so. Basically, it says basically said it was really mean of me to invite everyone but her, and it was because of the autism. It might not because she has autism, but it's something related to her autism. So technically, it is because like she didn't want her aide being there because she has autism. It's not because she has autism she's not getting invited, but it's a second factor of her having autism.
No, but like, isn't
I
the
don't know.
whole
You
point
could
that?
literally pinpoint.
But isn't
You
the
can
whole
pinpoint
like?
it either side.
But isn't the whole point like if you are autistic or anything that
Yep.
what you do is normal? Like you shouldn't be
Right.
thought of as a weirdo or different because, like, okay, what I'm trying to say is like, she drools. People think that's weird, right?
Mhm.
But what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't think it's weird just because like we're not used to it, and only because they're autistic, it's still not. It shouldn't be weird. Like we shouldn't like treating them fairly would be yo. I don't care if you're autistic or not. I just don't like drooling. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think it's not the arsehole. Like it's
it again, context
yeah.
is everything. I'm pretty sure like she didn't invite her because she's autistic, or she didn't invite her because she has autism. She invited her because she genuinely doesn't like her. I mean, we'd all do the same thing, even even if the person's not autistic, right? Like
Yeah.
I'd feel bad, but it's like I know in my head I'm like, I just don't like this person. It's I feel bad, but what can you do, right? It's like you don't
I
like
mean,
someone,
like
you don't like someone.
it's also like your own pastime. It's her birthday party outside of the drama class. If it was a case of they were in drama class, they had to get in groups together, they all go
And they
into
left
one
her
big
out.
group and
That's a
left her out.
dickhead move.
That's fucked up. That's the arsehole, right? But this is outside of it. Like, there's so many people I go to class with and stuff like that that I don't hang out with outside. Like, it's not
Oh yeah.
Inclusivity. It's just I just don't hang out with them. It's my own personal time. Why would I force myself upon? So the more I'm thinking about it, she's not the arsehole.
It's not like it's to me why she's not the asshole. Context is everything, right? Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
everyone we all say no for different reasons. That's the thing, right? That's how I see it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. So one more. Am I the arsehole?
Okay.
So the title
Sure.
is Am I the arsehole for refusing to pay for a service I didn't ask for? That's the title. So today,
Okay.
I, female who's 18, went to the hair salon to get an Olaplex treatment. No idea what that means. But I've been wanting for a long time.
Anyone in chat knows?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Olaplex, yeah. It's to do with the hair. When the treatment was done being washed out, the stylist began blow drying my hair, and I asked if there would be an extra charge for the blow dry, and he simply said I could not leave with wet hair. I repeated one more time that I did not want to be charged anything extra beyond the treatment and that I'd be okay to leave with wet hair. Just to not pay extra. He nodded and continued with the blow drying, so I assumed that it was a complimentary service. They did. When I went to pay, I noticed the charge was more than what was listed on the website, so I asked about it and they said I was being charged for a style as well as since I received a blow dry. Keep in mind that I'm currently trying to pay tuition and the cost of a blow dry brought me from $40 to $100. After a lengthy argument, I gave them the money for the treatment and wash only and walked away, not being called an ignorant arsehole, not before being called an ignorant arsehole by the staff. I think that's quite unfair that despite for not asking for it persistently, stating I was not looking for extra charge, they still charge me, but I also understand that the industry is suffering right now and that they have to be compensated properly for their services. I think that I was being reasonable, but I'm worried I might be the arsehole.
Honestly speaking, can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
That's a tough one again. But I work in a industry. Well, as one of my other part-time jobs, dog grooming. I work in something very similar, and I do kind of sympathize with like the worker in a sense that like we're just trying to make money, right? But at the same time, a good chunk of not a good chunk, but another big part of that industry is also customer service, right? If a customer, to me, how I see it is like whenever I would try to sell like add-ons for packages, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that for your dog? I ask, obviously. I get a no. Oh well, right? You can't, and especially if the customer asks for something like, oh, is this going to be an additional charge? you know, and if you're gonna beat around the bush saying like no, or like just not say anything at all, then that's not proper customer service. I'm looking at it from a professional point of view, right? And you know, I would be pretty pissed.
A dickhead.
That's
that person's a dickhead.
Like as the customer, I'm looking at
the customer?
I'm looking at both
the man who was blow drying her hair. He's a dickhead.
That's the thing. Like I'm looking at both points of view. In my opinion, if I were to be charged unfairly about something that I did clearly ask if it was an extra charge and I said no to it, I'd be pretty pissed too, right? So, you know, it's not really a Karen moment if that's what people are thinking, but you know, it's more just like, hey, I asked if this was an additional shit,
principle,
and you didn't say shit, and then I said, okay, if it's going to be additional, don't do it. I'm okay with walking out with wet hair,
exactly,
and still proceeded to do it. That's against consent at that point.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. She's not the asshole.
100%.
Like, I'm looking at it from both points of view. I'm like,
Yeah.
I get that you want to make money, but at the same time, if someone doesn't want a certain thing done, especially if they can't give that sort of money to you, and you do it anyway, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Like, you know, no, that's not proper customer service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she constantly said she doesn't want it either. It's like one of those, you know when you're in car and then, like, the people are like washing your windows and stuff like that when you clearly say no.
It's
and
sort of
they
like exactly.
beg you for
It's sort of
money,
like that.
right?
It's sort of like that.
It's stupid. You didn't ask for it, right? And it's like it's just
It's
just crazy because she said multiple times, "I don't want to blow dry. I don't want to pay this extra cost."
Yeah.
And you're just nodding your head.
You're like, I'm like, dude, stop. Like, that's the thing,
like,
right?
what?
And like,
That's so freaking crazy.
That's stupid. I'm like, you shouldn't have done that.
what the fuck is in this?
The hairdresser.
Like, what the fuck is this in his hairdryer that has gone from 40 to 100?
60. That shit better be made of gold.
What
in my
the
opinion.
actual fuck is in it? What is it made of? Like, what the fuck are they putting in her hair? Like, what wind is coming out of this fucking blow dryer that they've more than doubled the price?
I agree. No, like,
that's
no,
a
she's
fucking
not an
scam.
asshole.
They are scamming
That is a
her.
scam and a half. Yeah, like
Scamming
$60
her.
to dry my hair.
Like,
I
what
might as
the
well do it at
fuck?
home. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You might as well do it at home. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would be like, you stop, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, oh, that hurts me. They scammed her. And like,
They
that
really did
dude,
scam her.
a piece
Like,
of
actually
shit.
speaking.
Like, if someone says to you, yo, look, man, you know what, even professionally, but even like just have some ethics, you know what I mean? That person said to you, yo, look, I don't want to pay extra. They're saying it a lot. They probably can't afford it. And
They've made it clear, and then you just fucking ignore it.
And she says it, I'm a student. You know,
again, bad customer service. I'm like, I'm mainly pissed because that's just terrible customer service on the salon's part. You know what I mean? Horrible customer service.
Like,
like,
she's not the asshole.
I sympathize with him, kinda, but like, if they don't want to buy what you're selling, fucking stop.
No,
like,
I get
wanting to.
with them.
Here's why. Like, I get why, because he wants to make money. Okay, but I'm on her side. I'm on her side because I'm like, yeah, she clearly made it clear. Stop doing this. I don't want to pay extra. I don't have the money to pay extra.
100%.
You stop. And then after that, you're like, okay, well, out the window. Bad customer service. I'm looking like I'm on the customer side for this one.
And honestly,
I don't even. I don't even. Blowfish, I can't lie. I don't even know how you sympathize with this guy.
Mainly
it's like, say you go to a restaurant.
Because the money.
No. But say you go to a restaurant and you ask for like 10 chicken nuggets, right? And because the chef and the waiter want to make extra money, they just put, like a ribeye steak on the side as well.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you gotta eat it. It's on your plate. Like, it's like, huh? I didn't order this. I want my 10 chicken nuggets.
Like, I mainly sympathize because like he's trying to make money. Okay, but
no,
do it the fucking right way. Do it the fucking right way. That's how I see it. I'm like, I get it, but no
sympathy. Matter of fact, you know what? You know what I do? I just like all over his hair, and I'd start blow drying it. So there you go. I pay for you, you pay for mine.
Yeah, man. Sid made a really fair point. Like, just because their business is doing bad, you don't add another fucking meal in it and charge them for it.
That's the thing.
And she
you know
said it. And you know the positive, it would like, I don't know. My brain would think like the marketing, that customer's now going to be fucking happy that you've not charged her for it. And just explain to her, hey, normally we charge this much.
She's not going to come back.
Again, bad customer service.
Like, she wouldn't like now come back thinking, oh, I know that these people actually care for me as a business. You know what I mean? Because I was going through a tough time, whatever. They will look out for me and shit. Fucking
especially with like hair salons. Like hair salons, barbershops, stuff like that, they thrive off of connection and also really just what's the word I'm looking for here, guys?
I would say brand reputation, to be honest.
Connection and reaching out and but that's also part
No,
of it.
yeah, more so like when I go to a barber, I go to the same barber.
Yeah, like
What's that called?
Like a relationship.
Relationship, right?
Yeah,
The relationship you
yeah.
have, you trust people with it.
You're a regular.
If someone's
essentially.
Yeah, this girl is probably not gonna go back to that salon,
No,
and if
I
she
wouldn't.
does, she wouldn't go to the same person, right? Like you might be getting a little extra money right now, but in the long run, you're actually losing out a lot
That's
more.
a fair point. That's a fair point.
A lot. I agree.
I don't know how you sympathize with him, Blowfish. I'm really
It's
having
just
to
the money.
rethink.
It's
I'm
just
having to
the money aspect,
rethink what I think of you, dude.
It's the money aspect, but he did it
There's
wrong.
There's no
I'm like, dude,
sympathy.
But the money aspect, but I didn't Sid like put it in a really fair point.
he did.
Like,
That's
like
why
a
I'm like,
very-
you're right. I was like, you're right.
That's the second
Don't
time Sid
scam
ever
people.
said something useful. Once was suggesting am I the asshole, and then this chef thing. Like it's the second time he said something. I'm like, you know what, Sid? I feel you.
That's the thing, because the guy didn't know. Like, well, not that he didn't know, just he doesn't know the business aspect. I was like, dude, you don't do that to a fucking customer. Don't do that. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to make money, do it the proper way, man.
Oh wait.
Yeah, by selling drugs.
All right, so everyone, I think this will be now the end of our BEAUTIFUL podcast. Beautiful for the people who are can't catch up my speed.
Oh my god.
Speed spelling.
Jesus
You know what I
Christ.
mean? Of our beautiful podcast, I want to say thank you to everyone for watching it. Blowfish, Seven Thugs, you guys got something to add on?
Don't scam people.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. What about you, Sid?
Do drugs. Stay out of school.
Do drugs. Stay out.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching our podcast. We will also be back next week, Sunday. Sunday.
Terrific advice from two nice people. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks, Sid. I know you're talking about me and Blowfish, yeah? And the other fucking person. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We appreciate you. We will be back soon. Blowfish, Sid, do you want to talk about when you're streaming next or anything like that?
I'm on tomorrow with some dating shenanigans. I'm being a total asshole to these wonderful ladies. If you guys want to come through for 2 p.m. EST.
I will be tomorrow's Monday. I should be streaming tomorrow and also Tuesday,
Hey,
the
back on
28th.
grind.
I'm doing a little bit of a collab with Blowfish and Hash.
That's true.
We're gonna be playing a couple games and then just talking about each other. I've got some stuff planned for the stream, so probably gonna be 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So BST. So that's the actual collab. That's like my 300 special that I hit like 2.5 months ago. That I'm actually finally getting to now. But yeah, you will see Hash and Blowfish, so don't miss that out on Tuesday.
And myself, I'll be streaming tomorrow, but you'll see my face on Tuesday as well on Seven Thugs.
Mhm.
I was gonna let you mention that. I was like, Sid, is that still on? It's like, oh, it's still on. Mention it. That was like me.
But thank you so much for watching, everyone. We love all of you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.
Post.